you have been sentenced to death in accordance with the Exodus Charter. Any last words?
Not for you.
Are pushed back and down. I'm out of my mind overrides. They are perched and falling down into this crowded space.
Maybe I said headshot about 100 times.
These weapons now.
Woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil sends the beast with wrath, because he knows the time is short. Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is a human number. Its number is 666.
From my mind, what did I see? Can I believe that what I saw that night was real and not just fantasy? Just what I saw in my own dreams the reflections of my warped mind staring back at me. 'Cause in my dreams it's always there. The evil face twists my mind and brings me to despair. 666, the number of the beast. Hell and fire was born to be released.
If you take the mark of the beast, you will not live a long, healthy life, according to the Bible. Let's go to Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9. Because when you take the mark of the beast, you will literally sell your soul to Satan. Now, can you get out of it? Well, I'm going to look at that here in a minute. But ultimately, those that take the mark of the beast, there will be no salvation for them. Go to Revelation chapter 14 and verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whoso receiveth the mark of his name. Look at that. So, Jesus comes back at Armageddon. And during the 7-year tribulation, God's wrath is poured out upon the earth. But we also know that when Jesus comes back, he comes back in wrath and in anger. And he comes back and destroys the Antichrist. And he takes all the Antichrist people and he puts them down here and puts them into this place of fire. And all those, the Bible says, every person during this time that took the mark of the beast, God doesn't give them a second chance. God doesn't let them live. God doesn't say, okay, well, it's okay that you have the mark of the beast. I'll accept you. There's no acceptance of God by those who literally have the mark of the beast in their forehead or in their hands. So it's fatal. If you take the mark of the beast, let's say it was at the beginning of the tribulation. You got 7 years to live. If it's given in the middle of the tribulation, you only have 3.5 years that you live with that mark. And then there's no second chance.
The real reason why a lot of people will take the mark of the beast. Revelation 13, 16 and 17, King James Version. and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. You know, when reading the book of Revelation, we read about the mark of the beast, and that people will worship the beast, and we automatically think that these signs will all happen overnight. But the truth is that it won't happen overnight. The spirit of the Antichrist is already at work. The god of this world is already at work, and that is what the Bible tells us. 2 Corinthians 4:4. The god of this age has blinded the minds of unbelievers, so that they cannot see the light of the gospel that displays the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. 1 John 4:3. But every spirit that does not acknowledge Jesus is not from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you have heard is coming, and even now is already in the world. If you ask anyone around now that if the Antichrist comes back with the mark of the beast, or if the time for the mark of the beast comes, will they receive the mark? The answer you will hear from most people is no. We know what the mark signifies. We know what it means, and we know where it is coming from. So I always used to ask myself, why on earth will anyone take the mark? Because it doesn't make sense to me. Why would anyone take it? How will the Antichrist and the devil plan out their recruitment for their mark? What approach will they use to get people to accept the mark? There are two major ways the devil will do this, and we will explain the two ways and how they are working in the world today. The two major ways are deception and idolatry. These are the plans of the devil to make people collect the mark of the beast. Now, how are these things playing out today? Let's look at deception. The first approach of the devil on any occasion is deception. There is a reason why Jesus called this being the father of lies. We know about technologies and those who invented them. Satan invented lies and deceit. John 8:44, King James Version. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lusts of your family ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own words, for he is a liar, and the father of it. One of the primary tactics of the devil is deceit. In the Garden of Eden, he used deceit. He tried it on Jesus, but failed. He will, and he is, using the same method today in the world. When the Antichrist comes and takes center stage, he won't come with red eyes and horns poking out of his head. He will come as a man of peace. He will deceive the world into believing that he is the solution to all the world's problems. And that is the deception he will come with. He won't let his true intention be known initially. The world will trust him, exalt him, uplifting him. The kind of approach he will come with will make people worship him. He will do things that others cannot do. He will bring solutions that others cannot. He will bring peace where others have failed. 2 Thessalonians 2:3 and 4. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, shewing himself that he is God. The Antichrist will speak evil against God. He will say many bad things about God, just to deceive people, so that they can worship him. The Antichrist will shift the focus of people from God to himself.
Revelation 13 verse 1 to 10. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wandered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them. And power was given over all kindreds, and tongues, and nations, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. He will look wonderful, be charming and successful. He will be energized by the very power of hell. You have never seen such demonic charisma. He will deceive people. He will deceive nations. He will deceive millions. He will be demonically energized. Millions will worship him. He will be an emblem of reconciliation. He will be a symbol of peace, a beacon of hope, a path to utopia, a guiding light full of false promises. He will look like the solution and appear as an angel of light. He will come like a sheep, but he is a wolf. He will come like a lamb, but he is a dragon. He will come with no corruption, but he is full of corruption.
The devil has real power. However, his power is nowhere near to the power of God. But nevertheless, he is a powerful being that should not be underestimated. After all, he is formally one of God's highest angels and has the power to deceive and to emulate miracles. The second is material things. The devil will offer many people material things. Tell me, who doesn't want to have a good life? Is there anyone on earth who would not want to become a billionaire? The devil knows this, and he will use the material things that will not last to deceive people into following the wrong path. Revelation 13, 16, and 17. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Without the mark, people will not be able to buy or sell. This is one of the reasons why people will take the mark. Moving on to idolatry. The second method is idolatry, and this will come after people have been deceived. This is when you will see people worshiping other people. The Antichrist will be an idol, a celebrity when he comes. This man will be loved. He will be utterly adored by the world.
Now I want to ask you a question. Don't you think the world is ready for him? We often sit in front of the television and watch movies. We watch sports. We see many things on the television and we love them. There are some musicians that we love. There are many sports people that we love. I am not saying that we should hate them. It is not bad to love the sport or the sports people, but it has gotten to a point where many people worship these artists or these athletes. There are basketball players that people bow to when they slam dunk. There are soccer players that people or the fans always bow to when they score. These things leave you wondering, how have we gotten to this stage in the world? People now worship other human beings. You see concerts full of tens of thousands of people chanting a person's name, exalting that person, uplifting that person, literally thousands of people screaming someone's name. You say that that is not worship? Yes, it is. Look at the lyrics of a song we sing in praise and worship. For example, look at that song, "Let Your Living Water Flow." Jesus, 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 sing to the Father, 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 Father. A song exalting the name of Jesus, but now you see people exalting other humans. It is idolatry. You see celebrities walking on the street and people are literally fainting at the sight of them. 2,000 years ago, idols were graven images and massive statues that people would bow down to and worship. But the devil moves with the time. We are now too sophisticated to be bowing down at some wooden statue. So modern day idols for us are celebrities. You should never sleep as a Christian. You shouldn't think that the plan of the man of sin will come only after the rapture or sometime later in life. John shared the revelation coming from the sea and the beast coming from the land. In 2 Thessalonians 2, the Bible was talking about a particular man called the man of sin. He was also called the son of perdition. The Bible says that this man will come in the last days. He will start to be operational in the last days. We need to get this clear so that we will have an understanding of when this man of sin will appear. Verse 3 says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." This man will be revealed to the world. Everyone will see this man in action. What will this man of sin do? Verse 4 continued, "Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, shewing himself that he is God." Now we have seen that he has the same attributes of the beast that was mentioned in the book of Revelation 13. This man will speak blasphemy. He will position himself as God so that people will be able to worship him. When will this man start his work? When will people start working for him? Is it after the coming of Christ or now? 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 7 gave us the time when this man of sin will start his work. The NIV says, "For the secret power of lawlessness is already at work, but the one who now holds it back will continue to do so till he is taken out of the way." We must be truthful to ourselves. The spirit of the Antichrist is already amongst us. He is already working, and we are not seeing it.
Charter City is stunned by the sudden rollout of Rook Unlimited's most fantastic device ever. The Smart Mark. Throw your other devices away, because the Smart Mark is more than just a phone. It's part of you. Use it as cash. Book your travel. And even shoot video. Distribution points are all over the city. And don't let the lines discourage you. The Rook Unlimited Smart Mark is worth the wait.
I never realized how wonderful technology could make me feel. The Smart Mark has brought order to my life.
And the best part? It's absolutely free. A gift of thanks to our city from Rook Unlimited.
23% of the population has been given the Smart Mark, number 1.
Time to test our system, number 6. The Flex Fighters are out there somewhere. Teaming up with Jonathan Rook. Let's put our new recruits to work. Subtly.
We should find the Flex Fighters.
I ought to find the Flex Fighters.
We should find the Flex Fighters. We should find the Flex Fighters.
Growing up in this city, the streets of Old Town, I saw the worst mankind had to offer. Chaos, disorder. I vowed to make it all change. To make it all better. All these years working in secret, rising up the ranks of the tech men. It was all leading to this day. Order has finally been established in Charter City. No child will have to fear for their safety again.
The people owe you the greatest of debts, number 1, for liberating them from the chaos of their lives.
You guys love new tech. You didn't want to get smart marked?
No way. That's clearly some shady biz. Who wants to be...
You call yourself a man of science. World order is our destiny. Submit to a Smart Mark and join the glorious victory of order over chaos, or you will be eliminated.
Grandpa, Mr. Savick, where is everybody?
They all went to get those foolish new devices.
What? No, they can't. Grandpa, those things are dangerous.
It's a conspiracy. Mind control.
Ha! I knew it!
3 hours is enough time for us to get to our families. Maybe we can stop them before they get marked.
They seem to be establishing checkpoints of some kind. This is how they keep order.
This is the nightmare I warned you about. People think smart marks are brand new Rook tech that will improve their lives. They don't know they're being tricked.
All smart marks so far. But your chip makes it possible to control everyone in Charter City, whether they're marked or not.
Buy groceries with the scan of a part of our body. Tell me more, please.
Yes. So here's the deal. Amazon is reportedly testing body scan payment technology. This kind of creeps me out a little bit. According to the New York Post, the e-commerce giant is trying out the system called Orvo, which uses biometric technology. The way it works, as it stands, is Amazon Prime users would scan their hand to ring up a purchase instead of a card. The goal is to roll it out at Whole Foods by the beginning of next year. Dina?
Okay, I have so many concerns because that means then your fingerprints are out there.
Yep, not just your finger. And I mean, like, what if you just wave and now you have a whole roll of cereal, that you just bought?
Why not just put microchips in our arms and we just bump up next to anything?
That's what bought.
Why not just put microchips in our arms and we just bump up next to anything?
That's where we're headed. That is the thing. I'm with you, Dina, because like as soon as you're like, oh, it's okay to like use my hand, and then next we got a chip in our arm. Yeah. And then next we got a chip in our arm. Yeah. And then next we got a chip in our arm.
Yeah, I know they're already doing that for some cars. So.
How many of you here would have a microchip implanted in your hand, for instance, if it allowed you to do things like pay for your groceries or log onto your computer just by waving your hand? Anyone? Very soon, you may have the chance. I'm bigger concerned is that this could be done ultimately against people's will at some point in time. Look, we live in a very fragile society.
Many people in Sweden are lining up to get these microchips that the country's main chipping company says that it can't even keep up with the number of requests.
Really?
What in
no way I would do that.
What in the Illuminati, Mark of the Beast, witchcraft is going on over there in Sweden?
And Steve, this is happening here. I don't want to get biblical, but I've heard about this Mark of the Beast business my whole life. I think it's true. I think biblical prophecy. The more I'm hearing about this, everything we do. So we can talk about this, but this isn't coming.
It's here.
In other news today, Amazon has created a new way for customers to make purchases with just their palm, CBN News reports. The new hand recognition technology called Amazon One is currently available in 2 of its Amazon Go stores located in Seattle, Washington. By holding their palm above the device, patrons can enter secure areas and pay for items without cash or credit card. Amazon One appears to be just the latest option in the ever-expanding business of biometric scanning and microchip implanting. The amount of personal information that the company will receive from the scans is an important concern with this latest development in cashless payments. Like fingerprints, every palm is unique, and Amazon contends the data will be secured, stored in a special cloud created by Amazon, and that customers can wipe out their Amazon One-related hand data at any time. It's contactless, which we think customers will appreciate, especially in current times, says Dilip Kumar, Amazon's Vice President of Physical Retail and Technology. The company expects to roll out the system in other Amazon stores soon. Some Christians say body scanning like this is another step towards the fulfillment of the end times, Mark of the Beast, prophesied almost 2,000 years ago in the book of Revelation. The world's largest online retailer doesn't appear concerned, believing the palm technology could be used for many other types of purchases and transactions like retail stores, stadiums, and office buildings, touting the fact that its process is touchless, which makes it perfect for avoiding diseases like COVID-19.
666 is known as the devil's number or the number of the beast. Some people think it's a particularly unlucky or evil number, but where does it come from and what does it really mean? 666 originates from the book of Revelation, the last book of the New Testament, and for those of you who have read it, you know it's a pretty crazy book. It's basically the recounting of a bunch of visions by a guy who calls himself John. It includes everything from a dragon to a star falling out of the sky and turning the entire ocean to poison, valleys filling with the blood of slain people, you know, pretty apocalyptic stuff. The number 666 comes in chapter 13, verses 17 to 18. In this chapter, John has a vision of a multi-headed beast rising out of the ocean. The beast has great power. It enslaves the people of Earth, it kills the saints, it forces people to blaspheme God, and it forces people to put the mark of the beast on the right hand and on the forehead. Let the one who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Notice here that John's not talking about Satan and he's not talking about a demon. He's talking about something that he calls a beast and a man. So who is it? Scholars generally agree that the book of Revelation is an extended polemic against the Roman Empire. In chapter 13, the beast is meant to represent the Roman Empire itself, an evil institution that enslaves the world. The heads of the beast are therefore interpreted to be the Roman emperors. 666 is thought to be a secret code for the evilest emperor of them all, Nero. Let's take Nero's Greek name, Neron Caesar, attested here on a bunch of Nero's Greek coins. And let's spell it in Hebrew letters. Both Greeks and Jews in the first century believed that every single letter had a corresponding number. Add the values of those letters together, and you get 666. Sounds weird, but believe me, this was a very common practice in the ancient world called gematria. So here are some examples. Some graffiti on a wall in Pompeii reads, "I love the woman whose number is 545. So any passerby in Pompeii reading this graffiti wouldn't exactly know who it's referring to, but they would have definitely recognized the number as gematria. Greek authors make reference to gematria all the time. So for example, Strato of Sardis, who was a famous 2nd century Greek poet, proves to us in one of his epigrams that he knows what gematria is and he has way too much time on his hands. Anus and gold have the same numerical value. I once discovered this while casually calculating. And he's right. The Greek word for anus and the Greek word for gold both have a value of 1,570. So gematria by no means was a fringe practice. Everybody was doing it, whether you were scrawling the name of your crush on a wall, whether you were writing bathroom humor epigrams, or whether you were writing crazy mystical apocalypses. From very early on in Christian history, Nero is viewed as the arch-villain of Christianity. Early church historians like Eusebius and Roman historians like Suetonius both mention Nero violently persecuting Christians, burning them alive in Rome. Whoever wrote the Book of Revelation had a vendetta against the Roman Empire and viewed Nero as one of the greatest evils on earth. We don't exactly know why. Some scholars think that the book was written shortly after the persecutions from Nero in Rome, which would make the book surprisingly early. Other people think that the book was written later in the 1st century under the reign of Domitian, but we don't know if that's true because there's no evidence of persecutions happening under the reign of Domitian. Either way, this does demonstrate that the tradition surrounding Nero dates back very early in Christian history. The connection between 666 and Nero is further strengthened by chapter 13 verse 3. One of the beast's heads seemed to have a mortal wound, but its mortal wound was healed. According to the Jewish mystical text, the Sibylline Oracles, Nero is thought to be resurrected at the end of time to continue wreaking havoc on earth. So the Book of Revelation might be tacitly referencing this tradition. After all, the author does seem to be deeply steeped in Jewish mysticism. Now, some of you might be sitting there thinking this is a stretch or just a coincidence. You had to switch the Greek word into Hebrew letters. I'm not buying it. Fair enough, but 2 early manuscripts of the Book of Revelation all but seal it for me. These 2 manuscripts accidentally write 616 instead of 666. This isn't a simple matter of messing up a pen stroke. 616 also spells Nero in Hebrew gematria, but only if you drop off the final N. Now, 616 is probably not the original reading. Most of our manuscripts say 666. Our earliest manuscript says 666, but this does show that there was an alternative reading circulating at the time, and that alternative reading also was a cipher for the name Nero. Why the switch? Well, one New Testament scholar, Bruce Metzger, theorizes that it's the switch from the Greek form of Nero's name to the Latin form of Nero's name, which doesn't have that final N. For example, note how his name lacks the N in these Latin coins minted during his reign. Now, what started as a secret code for Nero's name has exploded into all kinds of conspiracy theories and predictions of the future. One of the more common theories is that RFID chip implants will be a harbinger of the apocalypse.
And we're going to be talking about the 666, the microchip.
Book of Revelation says of that time that no man will be able to buy or sell unless they received the mark of the beast.
Then I saw another beast coming out of the earth. He was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast, so that it could speak and cause all who refused to worship the image to be killed. He also forced everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on his right hand or on his forehead, so that no one could buy or sell unless he had the mark, which is the name of the beast, or the number of his name. This calls for wisdom. If anyone has insight, let him calculate the number of the beast, for it is man's number. His number is 666.
If anyone worships the beast and his image, and receives his mark on the forehead or on the hand, he too will drink of the wine of God's fury, which has been poured full strength into the cup of his wrath. He will be tormented with burning sulfur in the presence of the holy angels and of the Lamb, and the smoke of their torment rises forever and ever. There is no rest, day or night, for those who worship the beast and his image, or for anyone who receives the mark of his name.
There is a lot of speculation on how this will all turn out, but you can be sure of this. Anyone who gets the mark of the beast, 666, is doomed. There is no turning back, no forgiveness, no second chances, no redemption, and no salvation. Don't think to yourself, God will understand. He'll forgive me for taking the mark. He's merciful, and He doesn't want me to lose my life. I don't have to worry. I can still be saved, right? Wrong. If you get the mark of the beast, 666, on your forehead or on your hand, you're finished. You will not be saved. You have claimed loyalty to the beast. There will be great stress and tribulation at the time that the mark is given out. It will probably seem like the best thing to do to survive, solving many problems. Great pressure will be put upon you to get it, like torture, loss of life, loss of job, loss of children, loss of possessions, reputation, house, freedoms, and limbs, etc. Prophets have been warned that the devil will not want to let those who refuse off with a simple beheading, but he will have them gruesomely tortured to get them to take his mark. You won't be able to buy or sell anything without the mark. At that point in time, you must be ready to die rather than get the mark. You must be ready to face execution rather than to take the mark of the beast, no matter what the punishment. Don't compromise, and make no mistake about it. Those who get the mark, even believers, will be condemned to God's full wrath forever. But there is hope for those who are left behind, who refuse to take the mark of the beast, and are killed for their faith.
I saw thrones on which were seated those who had been given authority to judge. And I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded because of their testimony for Jesus, and because of the word of God. They had not worshipped the beast or his image, and had not received his mark on their foreheads or their hands. They came to life and reigned with Christ 1,000 years.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God.
Only want me to pray till my hands fall off. What if I don't really care at all? Maybe I do, but I feel so low. That's that desperation. Want me to pray till my hands fall off. What if I don't really care at all? Maybe I do, but I feel so low. That's that desperation. Only want me to pray till my hands fall off. What if I don't really care at all? Maybe I do, but I feel so low. That's that desperation. Want me to pray till my hands fall off. What if I don't really care at all? Maybe I do, but I feel so low. That's that desperation. Only want me to pray till my hands fall off. want me to pray till my hands fall off.